Today we'll be discussing KMTL's Solid and Hazardous Waste Management Plan. So I am Miss Ashley representing the Environment Unit. So the first thing that we'll discuss are hazardous waste. What is hazardous waste? So hazardous waste basically has the same traits of hazardous substances. It's any substance that can be reactive, so it easily reacts in the environment. It can be toxic, meaning it is poisonous. If you ingest it, if it gets on your skin, if you inhale it, you can be at risk. It can also be flammable, so it is highly ignitable. It can be harmful, it can be an irritant. It is basically any waste that is going to pose a risk to you, to your safety, and to your environment. So non-hazardous waste, therefore, is a complete opposite. So it is any waste that is not going to pose an immediate risk to you or to the environment. So before we get into the waste management process, you have different local and international regulations or local and international requirements. So for international regulations, you have the Marpol, you have the Cartagena, you have the Basel Convention. Those are some of the conventions or treaties that govern waste that would be polluting the sea or the environment. Then you think about the local regulations. Those would be the NSWME, which the National Solid Waste Management Authority. They are the main persons who are responsible for authorizing the transportation and disposal of waste in Jamaica. You have the NRC, which is National Resource Conservation Act. That is the authority under the NEPA, which is National Environment Planning Agency. They're responsible for issuing permits to companies who will be handling hazardous substances. So now we'll move on to the waste management process. So the Environment Unit conducts waste characterization exercises on an annual basis. So this is a method where we separate different waste that we handle here at KSL into different waste streams, and we also look to see the proportions in which we're dealing with or disposing of these wastes. You have the solid and hazardous waste record keeping. So the record keeping process involves the facilities team or under the engineering department that is responsible for ensuring that the waste that is being disposed of is properly documented. So the environment team on a monthly basis will receive reports from the facilities team, and then we would use these data to generate reports that are further submitted to the regulators or to the head office. In terms of selection of the waste contractors at KTL, different waste contractors are selected under the procurement policy, which involves the engineering department in association with the procurement or the purchasing unit acquiring waste contractors. We also have what we call the waste endpoint audit. This is done annually by the Environment Unit. So on an annual basis, we will visit the waste contractors, their waste facility. We will do a check to ensure that they are keeping current with their permits and that they would not be non-compliant in terms of the requirements that are stipulated under the permits for proper waste disposal. So now we'll talk about the handling of waste, the storage of waste, and the transportation of waste. So waste is primarily stored at the centralized waste management facility. Whoever is handling the waste, it is required that you wear the proper protective equipment. This should be issued to you by your supervisor or your manager. And the PPE guideline, which was previously promulgated by the safety team, that will outline the requirement for supervisors to provide their team members with the required PPE to carry out their daily tasks. For transportation, if you observe any trucks leaving the facility with waste leaking or toppling over, it is your responsibility to report it to the environment or the safety team so that we can take the corrective measures. If you're storing waste in any area and you observe that the skip is full, or you observe that you have rodents in the area, we also encourage you to report it to the Environment Unit for proper disposal to take place. For monitoring and reporting requirements, as was previously mentioned, the engineering department is responsible for handling or accounting for the portion of the outgoing waste from KXL. We, as the environment team, we will collect that data and have it promulgated under the greenhouse gas report, which is a quarterly report that is submitted to the head office team. We also do an annual report for the total waste streams that will be generated throughout the year. This report will also capture the quantity of waste that we would have been able to recycle throughout the year and the amount of money that we would make from waste that we would be selling. So inspections are done at least 3 times out of the week by the environmental coordinator, and waste audit is also done at the centralized waste management facility once per week. This audit, if there are any non-conformances that are observed while the audit is being carried out or after the audit has been carried out, a non-conformance report would be submitted to the relevant parties to have that non-conformance corrected. For training, we conduct regular routine toolbox training with the respective persons, and also you will get some level of training once you are entering into KFTL as a new employee. So if you look at the images that are on the screen, you will see there are some of the signs that are present at the centralized waste management facility. If you have any questions or concerns in regards to the waste that is being handled at KFTL or waste disposal, you can call 876-832-4898, or you can reach me if you have concerns regarding the presentation or any environmental issues as well at 453-4227. So thank you and have a good one.